What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Obviously, the Packers lost to the 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs, which means it is mock draft season for us Packers fans. So I am here about to do my first Packers mock draft of the year. But before we get into that, if you could do anything you can to help grow the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Obviously, I don't post too much on here. I want to post more than I am, but obviously, if you want to see more content from me, go check out Run the North everywhere: YouTube, Spotify, Run the North, a sports podcast, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those places. If you want to see a lot more content from me, and go follow my TikTok at JTalk Sports. But yeah, without further ado, let's hop right into it. So the Packers 7-round mock draft. Here we go. This is certainly going to be interesting. Okay, so we have a trade offer. It's Tennessee. I don't want that. I want to pick in the first round. And so looking at who's on the board here, I have gotten a lot of flack. Now, I have not watched this guy extensively, but the Packers are in need of safety, and Cam Kitchens, from what I can tell, is worthy of being a first round pick. And so we're going to take Cam Kitchens. Obviously, the Packers safety issues are one that is one of the most prominent on the defense or on either side of the ball, really. I mean, the Packers, when you think about them and think about what makes their defense weak, it's really the secondary in general, which I would have taken Kool-Aid if he was there. I would have taken a better corner if he was there. But it's also, especially the safeties. I mean, losing Adrian Amos in free agency because he was old and because there was no reason to really pay him. And we haven't had a good safety in a long time. Anthony Johnson Jr. has shown some flashes, obviously being a later round pick last year. And he's a guy that I still kind of have hope for. But Darnell Savage is not really a starting safety in the NFL. He has a few good plays, but he really sells the bag most of the time. And so I'm going to take Cam Kitchens first overall. I'm going to reject the Broncos offer. Actually, I'm going to pick up this pick 114 from the Falcons just to move back a couple of spots. And yeah, we'll reject that and that. And somehow, someway, Jerzon Newton has made it this far into the second round. And I'm not really sure how that's possible. So he's definitely an option. But I am going to take Jackson Powers Johnson because listen, Josh Myers is not the best safety in the world. I think center in the world. I think we know that. And bringing some competition for him, I think, could be good, and it would help bolster this offensive line. Okay. Pick 58. I'm thinking maybe going guard with Cooper Beebe. But I do think that a DT could be necessary. Kenny Clark is like 28, 29, so he's getting up there. I mean, we did really focus on the defensive line. So I am actually going to go Patrick Paul out of Houston. I think a tackle there it's the best option at the current moment. There really aren't a lot of guards that I would have taken there, I don't think. Um, Now we're kind of sitting here. Johnny Wilson's still on the board, but we don't really need wide receivers. I mean, I really like where the Packers are at wide receiver wise. I liked what I saw out of the new guys. So I'm going to take Blake Corum. And the reason for that being kind of to explain this Aaron Jones is 29, he's going to be 30. Okay, A.J. Dillon sucks. There is no better way than to fix the Packers running back room quickly than by getting rid of A.J. Dillon or keeping A.J. Dillon until he can walk and then going and getting a guy like Blake Corum in the draft, and therefore he sits behind Aaron Jones, who's one of the best running backs in football. He learns from Aaron Jones. He watches Aaron Jones. He doesn't get too much tread off his tires in the first few years. We all know how good Blake Corum is, too. I mean, Blake Corum could arguably be the best running back in this class by when things are all said and done. And so having a guy who can sit behind Aaron Jones, who is still kind of playing at a really high level, even though he's going to be 30, playing at a higher level than you'd expect most 30-year-old running backs to play at. And that's mostly because the Packers have kind of limited his usage a little bit. And that's been frustrating to an extent, but also you have to realize that that's helping him in the long run because he played as well as he did down the stretch this year. They would have given him a ton of carries against the Cowboys and the Niners. But Blake Corum, yeah, I think it's a good pick there. I think he can, like I said, sit behind and learn from one of the better running backs in football. Pick 91 here. I don't want to really focus too much on the offensive line because I think Rasheed Walker has been good, and so it's really just what's going on with Bakhtiari. We don't know, so I'm going to go Junior Colson, linebacker out of Michigan. Yeah, I think a linebacker is a good move. Now I think is a good time to take a corner. So Johnny Dixon out of Penn State, I think, is the guy. Penn State obviously plays a very physical brand of defense. A good physical corner would be good alongside Jair. He kind of plays that side of the ball too. Jair is an interesting person. He posted on Instagram kind of like a farewell to Green Bay or something that at least resembled a farewell to Green Bay. And while you want to be like, oh no, I really don't think it's going to go anywhere. But Eric Stokes, as much as I want him to work out, I think Stokes could still be good. He's a very, very speedy guy. He deals with injuries a lot, and I still have hope. I think this year is really the telltale year. If he can stay healthy, if he can play well, if he can hold up on his side of the field, we'll see. I'm gonna take Braden Fisk here out of Florida State because, like I said, the defensive line is something that we invested in pretty heavily in the draft last year, but that doesn't mean that we can completely ignore it this year because Kenny Clark obviously is not on the younger side of things. Now we kind of find ourselves. You almost want to double up on safety, right? Because of how bad the safeties have been. But we do have Anthony Johnson Jr. And so I'm thinking just bolstering up the defensive line even more would be good. So we're going to take an edge here. Pick 203, I think, might be our last pick of the draft. We have one more, looks like 215. I mean, we have not taken a guard yet. I think a guard is going to be a good option. So I am going to take Dylan McMahon out of NC State. Listen, I think – I don't know. We do have another pick after this. Wow, I was completely wrong. But yeah, we're getting down to the wire here. I don't hate not having Sean Clifford as our backup. Like, I can't lie. Like, Jordan Love is good. I wouldn't hate having somebody else, but there's like nobody here. So I'm just gonna take another safety. I think I'm gonna take Ladapo out of Oregon State. 242. Okay. A lot of linebackers left. I'm a Wisconsin boy, so I'm going to take him. I think that linebacker is something we can really invest in because outside of like Quay Walker, Devondre Campbell's getting older and older and older and older, and that can be an issue. And then finally, I think we cap this thing off taking probably taking, I don't know. Let's see. Take an edge in Taylor Upshaw. Yeah, that is the mock draft. The Packers have a ton of picks this year. They have a ton of draft capital this year. They have a lot of opportunity to make things good. And Cam Kitchens, I think, is a good first round pick. I think Jackson Powers Johnson is a great second round pick and somebody to bring in competition for Josh Myers. Patrick Paul, OT out of Houston, taking him in the second. I don't hate it. Bradley Corum, I explain my thoughts on him. And then linebacker, cornerback, defensive tackle. It's a big defensive draft. I mean, the offense really is looking good. We have Aaron Jones. We address the offensive line. We have Jordan Love. He's the guy. We have Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, both coming into their second years, both looking to be good tight ends in this league. We have Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson and Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks and Malik Heath and Bo Melton, all guys who were productive in their own ways this season. So you really don't have to look anywhere on the offense, honestly, in the higher rounds other than offensive line. But yeah, that is my Packers mock draft, my first one of the year. I'm going to be doing a bunch of mock drafts on the channel. So if you don't want to miss out on those, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of these mock draft videos, and I will see you guys next time.